10b. So we have this f of x is cos and g of x is 0.8 to the power x. And so our combined function when we divide them is going to be cos over 0.8 over to the power x. So a couple things here. We have a numerator, so we want to find the zeros. So I put in some zeros in here. At cos equals negative 90 degrees and positive 90 degrees, cosine is equal to 0. So I plug those in. The other thing we want to notice is that the denominator is never equal to 0. So we're not going to get a vertical asymptote for this function. The other trend that would like you to notice is as x gets large, the denominator gets closer to 0, which means that the y value gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So essentially, this is equivalent to saying that we take the reciprocal of 0.8, which is 1.25, and we can say that this is equivalent to 1.25 to the power x times cosine x. So as x gets big, this is going to grow exponentially, and as it goes small, x is more negative, it's going to tend towards 0. So I'm going to start with my coordinates here at negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. I'm going to have zeros. And every time that cosine becomes 0, I'm going to hit 0. Okay, and then the maximum point of cosine happens at 0. So I'm going to put in 0 here. When I have x to the 1.25 to the power 0, I get 1. Cosine is 1, so I'm going to end up with a point in here. I'm going to put pi in and negative pi in as well, because that's when I'm going to have my negative values. Okay, and when I'm going to get my min and max points. So plugging this into my calculator, when x is equal to pi, cosine is negative 1, and I end up with 1.25 to the power of pi. And that's going to give me 2.01 approximately. Okay, so we're going to be somewhere around here. When I go to negative pi, that's going to be negative. So it's going to be down here. When I go to negative pi, I'm going to end up with 1.25 to the power negative pi, and that's going to be 0.496, and it's going to be negative, so it's going to be at about 0.5, so maybe somewhere around here. And basically what's going to happen is this graph is going to follow my min and max points, but it's going to grow exponentially. So it's going to tend towards 0, and then it's going to get bigger and bigger as I go to the right because of that exponential part of that function.